Alrighty. Stardew Valley is a game where you escape the clutches of working an office job by inheriting a farm from your dead grandpa. You move to the valley, work on the farm, and make friends with the villagers. When you progress your friendship with someone, sometimes you'll get a cutscene with them. And if you really want, you could be more than friends with some of the villagers. It doesn't matter if you're going after a boy or a girl, it's always June in Stardew Valley. So let's take a look at the stories for each of the Stardew Bachelorettes, starting with Leah. Leah moved to the town to pursue her dreams of becoming an artist. At 2 Hearts, Leah will be in her cottage working on a sculpture. She'll talk about sculpting and basically say that it's what's on the inside that counts. You can respond with an observation about how people are the same, or you can say how you really like how regular wood looks. Neither affects your friendship, but if you pick the latter, Leah mentions that she thinks there's beauty in nature and that she's also interested in how people shape and view the world. You also have the option to ask for a kiss, which loses you friendship points and blocks Leah's 8 Heart event forever. She kicks you out of her cottage, whether you're a guy or a girl, but if you're a guy, she'll also punch you. If you don't get kicked out, Leah mentions that she doesn't make a lot of money as an artist, so you can suggest that she either have an art show or sell her art on the internet. Whichever one you pick will come back in her 8 Heart event. At 4 Hearts, you find Leah in her cottage arguing with her ex over the phone, asking her to come back to the city. She hangs up and asks you if it was selfish of her to leave the city to become an artist. You get a lot of choices for how to respond here. You can say it had to be done and she'll agree that she never would have been happy in the city. You can call her ex an idiot and she'll say that you're a bit harsh. If you say she would have been better off in the city or agree that she is selfish, you lose friendship points. Leah will either thank you for listening or briefly get upset at your response. After you get 6 Hearts with Leah, she'll randomly visit you on the farm and give you a sculpture. Later when you enter the forest, you'll find Leah trying to grab a fruit from a tree. You lift her up onto your shoulders and she grabs the fruit, then you flirt for a bit. Leah's cutscene split into 2 paths at the 8 Heart event. If you suggested the art show, she'll invite you to the show. You arrive and the other villagers are also there. Leah starts her show and says that she came to the town to draw inspiration from the area and now it feels like a home to her. She presents her sculpture and eventually thanks her special friend, you, for the idea for the show and the courage to go through with it. The villagers all respond positively and Mayor Lewis starts a bidding for the art pieces. If you suggested she sell her art online, you'll find Leah in her cottage. She's bought a laptop and set up a shop. She says that a person named Mr. K has been buying all of her sculptures. She thanks you for the idea and is confident that she'll be able to be an artist full time. The 10 Heart event is relatively the same regardless of your previous choices. You and Leah are on a picnic and you guys have a little kiss, but then Leah's ex, Kel, comes out of the bushes. They'll be a guy or a girl depending on whatever you are. Kel will say that they went to the art show and they want her to come back with them, or they'll say that they are Mr. K and is the one buying all of her art. Leah says they were never interested in her art until she became successful. They have a little fight and you get the option either to punch Kel or try reasoning with them. If you don't punch them, then Leah will punch them for you. So either way, Kel gets punched. They leave and your picnic continues. You're married to Leah at this point, and at the 14 Heart event, you and her are painting a portrait of Marnie. She asks you how she should do the portrait, and no matter what you say, it'll turn out great. Your portrait, on the other hand, is always questionable. Next up is Emily. She works at the saloon and likes to make clothing. In her 2 Heart event, Emily has a dream. You show up in the dream, and Emily is surprised to see you. When she wakes up, she thinks that there must be something special about you. At 4 Hearts, Emily leaves her house and waves at some parrots. One of the parrots hits one of the windows on her house and is injured. Emily starts to nurse the parrot back to health, and you'll actually see it in her room from now on for the rest of the game. At 6 Hearts, you're in Emily's room. She's excited to show you her secret hobby. She turns on the stereo and starts to dance for you. She'll ask what you think. To gain friendship, you can either say it was great or you can start a slow clap. But if you say it was embarrassing, you'll lose friendship. Emily's 8 Heart event occurs in the mayor's house. Emily has outfits for several of the townspeople and they have a little fashion show. When Clint comes out dressed up, Emily says, "Aw, cute," which makes him a bit sad since he's got a bit of a crush on her. After everyone is gone, Emily approaches you, romantically, and Clint comes back and saying that he's embarrassed, but he reads the room and leaves. If you see this scene before Clint's 6 Heart event, then you won't be able to see his ever. For Emily's 10 Heart event, you meet her in the secret woods. At night. While you two are snuggling by the fire, a bear comes out of the woods and you two jump into your tent. The bear leaves, but Emily is too scared to go get her sleeping bag, so you two share one bag. After you marry Emily, at 14 Hearts, she'll ask you for 200 pieces of fiber, and after you do that, she'll give you a full new set of clothing. On to Emily's sister, Haley, who's portrayed as vain and likes taking pictures. In the 2 Heart event, Haley and Emily are fighting about cleaning their couch cushions. Haley said she did it last week and Emily says that she does most of the work around the house and calls Haley childish. They turn to you. If you suggest this be Haley's one weekly chore, both sisters agree, but Haley isn't happy about it. If you tell Haley to stop whining and do it, she'll get mad and storm off. And if you tell Emily to do it, Haley gets upset that you implied that she's also being childish. Emily cleans the cushions in both of these cases. At 4 Hearts, you find Haley struggling to open a jar. She asks you if you're strong. If you say yes, she happily asks you to open the jar, but if you say no, you lose some friendship, but you still have to open the jar anyway. Afterwards, she'll say you're stronger than you look. You find Haley on the beach for her 6 heart event. She's lost her bracelet, and if you offer to buy her a new one, you lose some friendship. If you say you're sorry that she lost it, Haley is hopeful that the bracelet will wash up somewhere. She reveals that it's her grandmother's bracelet, and you two start looking. After some searching, you find it, and Haley gives you a hug. For the 8 heart event, you find Haley at Marnie's ranch. You take some pictures, and Haley tries to ride a cow. She falls off and gets covered in mud. She giggles and goes to clean it off. At 10 hearts, Haley wants to show you her secret room. She's a dark room in her house for developing photos. If you compliment it, you get points, but if you're standoffish, you'll lose some points. Haley gets a little flirty and asks what you want to do now. You can offer to help decorate the room, and she'll look a bit disappointed and then thank you for your help. If you just leave, she'll say that she didn't think you were so dense, and if you go in for a kiss, Haley turns the lights out and you two go after it. After you marry Haley, her 14 event is a 3-parter. In part 1, Haley overhears the town children talking about how their books are falling apart. Penny says they don't have the funds for new books. In part 2, Haley starts organizing a cakewalk in the town. She asks you to bring a chocolate cake. You can say you'll do it, or you can say you'll do it begrudgingly, but either way, you're bringing that cake. In part 3, at the cakewalk, the other villagers have brought their cakes, and Haley gives out some prizes. She reveals that she held the cakewalk to raise money for new school books. Jazz and Vincent are excited for the new school books, and Penny is grateful. So let's go over to Penny next, the town teacher, essentially. In her 2 heart event, Penny tries to help George and gets a letter from his mailbox, but George is upset that she thinks he's helpless. Penny sees you and asks your thoughts. You can say she's kind and gain some points. If you say she should have asked George if he wanted help, you lose some points and Penny apologizes to George. Or you can just say you're minding your own business. Either way, George will apologize to Penny for getting angry. After George leaves, Penny ponders getting old. Your response won't have any effect on the friendship here, but the conversation can get a bit heavy depending on your response. For her 4 heart event, you find Penny in her trailer. You offer to help clean the trailer with her and you two start picking the place up. Penny's mom Pam returns and yells at Penny for letting you help clean. Pam asks you to leave and the two continue to talk after you're gone. You come back to the trailer for the 6 heart event where Penny tries to cook for you. The cutscene makes it look like it wasn't so great, so you can either lie and say it was good for those sweet, sweet friendship points. Ask for the rest to go and lose some points while making Penny sad, or you can call the dish unique and ask how it got so rubbery. Afterwards, you two watch a movie together. For her 8 heart event, you join Penny on a field trip with Jazz and Vincent. She asks you to be a guest speaker. You can agree excitedly for some points or just agree nonchalantly for no points. If you say no and that you don't like kids, then you lose a massive amount of points and the cutscene ends. Provided you didn't do that, you get to talk to Jazz and Vincent about being a farmer. Vincent will mention that he saw Sam lift Penny up into some trees the other day, and Penny will get a little bit flustered and shoo them away. Afterwards, Penny will ask you if you want to be a parent. There's a lot of options here, but you can either say you haven't thought about it, say you want kids, or that you don't think you'll be a good parent for some of those bonus points. If you say you don't want kids, you'll lose some points. Penny invites you to the spa for her 10 heart event. You two get into the pool, and Penny will confess her feelings for you. If you say you feel the same, then you two will make out in the pool. In a weird little twist, you can also just say you don't like her like that and lose a ton of points. This also makes her cry and ends the cutscene. If you didn't do that, you're probably on your way to the 14 heart scene. After you're married, Penny will ask you about your day, and she'll say that she wants to redecorate the bedroom with her handmade options. You get to pick, and you end up with several unique new furniture options. And let's move on now to Penny's friend Maru, the town nurse/scientist. At 2 hearts, Maru and her dad, Demetrius, are testing some soil samples. Maru goes to fetch some more samples, and Demetrius goes classic dad mode on you and says he doesn't want anything to get in the way of his daughter's bright future. When Maru returns, if you say nothing, you'll get some friendship points with Demetrius, but if you tell Maru who's being weird, then you'll lose some points with him, and he'll apologize. At 4 hearts, Maru is at work at the clinic. You enter and startle her, causing her to drop the glass beaker she was holding. She asks what she should do, and to lose points, you can either tell her to scoop the contents off the ground and that Harvey the doctor won't notice, or you'll say that you can take the blame for it. If you tell her to say it was an accident, you'll gain some points and Harvey will talk about how she's a big help. At 6 hearts, you meet Maru in the mountains. At night, Maru will be looking through her telescope and she'll say she has something to show you. If you say you see a planet, you'll gain some points, but if you say you just see the cold, dark abyss, you lose some points. Maru starts to tell you something, but then she changes her mind. For her 8 heart event, you go on over to Maru's house. She shows you a machine that she's been building and asks you to put your hand on it. It shocks you, and Maru applies some burn cream and apologizes. If you play it off, you'll get some points, but if you say it hurt, then you lose some points. And you'll come on back to Maru's house for the 10 heart event. Maru will show you a robot she's been building. Demetrius comes in and is surprised. Maru says that she made it to help Demetrius and Robin around the house, but the robot has decided that it wants to go explore the galaxy. Demetrius will thank you for helping to inspire Maru. You and Maru watch the robot take off into space, and Maru will ask what you think. You can compliment her inventions for some points, but for some neutral points you can ask Maru if her dad is okay with the two of you now, or just stare at her. If you say that you should have enslaved the robot, you'll lose some points, but you can immediately recover those points by saying the robot was just designed to act human, and Maru will drop some deep thoughts on artificial intelligence, or you can just say you were kidding. If you really want, you can double down though, and say you would have put the robot to work on the farm to lose even more points. At the 14 event after you're married, Maru will tell you about a rare astronomical event happening and want you to come see it with her. You two will reminisce about the last time you went stargazing and the two of you see a shooting star. You can wish for a new baby, to grow old together, or money. And now we have Abigail, the gamer girl who lives in the general store. For the 2 heart event, you enter Abigail's room and find her getting mad at a video game. The two of you play the game together and you can win or lose, doesn't really matter. At 4 hearts, you can find Abigail in the mountains on a rainy day. She'll be playing her flute and ask what you're doing. You can say you're just doing some work for no points, or to get some points you can say you were enjoying the weather, or flip the question back on her. Either way, she invites you to stand under the tree with her. You'll pull out a harp that you can apparently play, and you two play together. At 6 hearts, you can find Abigail in the cemetery. She says she's been practicing her sword work and asks if you've ever used one. If you say yes, you'll get some points, but if you say yes and tell her to stay safe, then you'll lose some points. If you say no, then nothing happens. Either way, her dad Pierre shows up telling her that her mom Caroline wants her to help with dinner. Abigail gets angry that they only expect her to help because she's a girl. She runs away and you both hide in some bushes. At 8 hearts, Abigail invites you over to her room. You two play with a Ouija board and it drops the hot gossip that she's developing some feelings for you. She pushes you out of the room. At 10 hearts, you run into Abigail in the mines. She's about to go down the ladder when a bunch of bats fly out. You rush to comfort her, and if you comfort her, you'll get some points, but if you call her a baby, then you'll lose them. She'll confess her feelings for you and give you a hug. After marriage, at her 14 heart event, you get attacked by a monster and Abigail shows up and saves you. She says she's never taken a life before, and you two talk for a bit, and then she makes a grave for the monster. Now, Stardew Valley is a video game with no real-world consequences, so there's nothing stopping you from dating all of the bachelorettes at the same time. If everybody is at 10 hearts, you can get one of 2 events. When you visit Emily and Haley's house, you'll find all the bachelorettes sitting and talking, and they'll get real mad at you for dating each other behind their backs. Regardless of what you say, they'll give you the cold shoulder for about a week after the event. But if you have a rabbit's foot on you, instead of being mad at you, the group session will turn into a gossip party about Mayor Lewis and Marnie. Thanks, Lucky Rabbit's Foot. And that's the end of the video. The next few videos will probably be about Stardew Valley, so if you like that, stick around.